Hello, happy Wednesday. It is a beautifully sunny day here. Thank you for joining me. My name is Teresa Harper. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Sheridan, Oregon in the USA. So happy to have you with me. Let's take a look and see who's jumping on. Give the old laptop a minute to catch up. And we will see who we have. All right. The delay looks like it's pretty big today. All right, come on. Okay, let's go the hard way, I think. Why is it doing this? I've got here, let's see if we can do this. That's not working. There we go. All right. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Laura. Oh. Sorry about that. I had my sound on. Turn that off so we don't get an echo. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining me. Hope everybody had a lovely day in the sunshine. I did. I sat on the deck, read my book, had Nathan over for a bit, took Caitlin to her physical therapy appointment, sat in the parking lot, read my book some more. It's been a very good day. After I stayed up super late preparing the projects for everyone last night. Okay, let's see. I've got a green screen flashing. Let me see if I can exit Facebook and come back in and stop that. See what we get. See if I can get that to stop. Okay, now I gotta find it again. Really? Now you're not going to show me the video at all? Okay, hang on everybody. I got to find the video. Let's see. No, I don't want to switch there. Hang on. Go home. Come on. Why won't you let me back into the video? Oh, there it is. Yay. Whoa. Okay. Well, hopefully that green screen will go away now. All right. So we are going to use Cheerful Daisies tonight. I've got a couple of projects to share with you, a couple of tutorials, and then I'll show you an extra project. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The Cheerful Daisies bundle can be found in the 2023-2024 annual catalog. You'll find it on pages 110 to 111. There's paper, coordinating gems, and then the stamp and die bundle. This is all I purchased. So we're going to make some cards with this, and we're going to go outside of the colorways that a lot of people are using because I'm not using the designer series paper. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with a base of Blueberry Bushel. I'm bringing in a piece of the Bright and Beautiful designer series paper. It's a 6x6 paper stack. This paper stack includes all the new core colors. So Lemon Lime Twist, Blueberry Bushel, Azure Afternoon, Lemon Lolly, Bubble Bath, Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, I don't believe pecan pie's in here though. So it has quite a few of those, and fresh freesia. And you get 48 sheets. So you get 2 each of 12 double-sided designs. So we are going to take our card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5. It's a standard A2 card size. I've scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold and burnish that. Okay, then we're going to take our piece of designer series paper. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. I just lost a leaf. It fell out. Oh, they're escaping. Okay, and this piece of blueberry bushel is 1.5 by 4. And we are going to go ahead and add that to our designer series paper. I'm just using some Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to add that to the edge. Put that down. This geometric pattern really helps you place those. And we'll give that a press. Okay, then we need to do some stamping. I'm going to bring in some lemon lime twist, moody mauve, berry burst, bubble bath, blueberry bushel, and some blackberry bliss. Okay. So we're going to pair our bubble bath with our berry burst. We're also going to pair the berry burst with our blackberry bliss. So let's get a piece of paper to stamp on. A scrap piece here. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've already done the stamping and the die cutting, but I want to show you how I did these. So I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to take the largest of the detailed daisy and the largest of the background daisy. I'm going to start this out with berry burst. Okay. So we're going to ink up the detailed piece in the darkest color, the berry burst. And then I'm going to switch to bubble bath. Okay, and if you have trouble with your new pads being a little bit too inky, just take the back of a spoon and press the ink into the pad. And then you won't end up with blotchy ink. Okay, we're just going to set that down. Okay, then we're going to clean that. So you actually need 2 of these larger stamps. So you're going to do one in the bubblegum and berry burst and one using the berry burst and blackberry bliss. So you're going to do blackberry bliss for the outline image. And then we're going to do berry burst for the inside image. Okay. So I'm just going to line that up. I look at this petal right here that is kind of flat on the end. I'm lining those up and looking through my stamp. Okay, so I've got those. Then I would do the same with the smaller leaf or with the smaller flower. So I need one of each of those. So I'm going to go ahead and do the outline in the blackberry bliss. and the detailed part, or the background part, in the Berry Burst. Okay. And then you need one final flower. And we're going to do a Blackberry Bliss outline on this half flower. And this time, to put with that Blackberry Bliss, we're going to use Moody Mauve. Now, this is another one of those that is a little bit inky. So I'm going to push that Moody Mauve into my ink pad. Okay. And I'm going to take my background stamp. I'm going to ink that up. Add it here. And while I'm here, I need to put Moody Mauve in both of these, in the centers. Okay, and I'm going to put Moody Mauve here and here. Okay, now I still have one more flower that I need to stamp, and it's the smaller flower. So we're going to clean that up. You always want to clean your reddish color, especially your dark reds, right away. They'll stain your inks, or your they will stain your photopolymer stamps, but you want to get it off as quickly as you can. Okay, so now we're going to take the Berry Burst with the bubble gum. So we're going to take the outline here. I'm going to stamp that. We're going to get our bubble gum. And do our inside. And I'm just making sure when I push it on there that I'm not getting any residual ink. Okay. And then one more Moody Mauve center. Right there. Okay, and the final thing that we need for this card is some leaves. Let me get all these stamps out of the way. Oh, we do have our sentiment that we need to stamp as well. Okay, so let's get our leaf. We're using Lemon Lime Twist. You're going to need 5 of these. Give yourself a little space between them so that you can die cut them. And then we're going to take our Blueberry Bushel ink, and we're going to take our sentiment. And the front of our sentiment comes from Wonderful Thoughts. This is also in the new 2023-24 annual catalog. And it has all of these sentiments, and then it has the coordinating dies to cut out each sentiment. Okay, so we're going to stamp that in black, or in Blueberry Bushel. Right down here in the corner. And that should be all of our parts and pieces. Okay. Now we'll take the coordinating die cut, the coordinating dies, and cut out all of our pieces. So from the dies, you're going to need the outline And you'll have to do this in several passes. So we'll just put that on. And then for the smaller one, we would just put this on. Okay, right there. There we go, right there. And then we have our leaf. Okay, and finally, we've got that. Now we can run all of that through the die cut at the same time and then cut our second set and our leaves, okay? But I've already done that to save us some time. So we'll just put these back on our die here. You also need to grab 2 of this die cut with a piece of lemon lime twist, and we need 2 of those. I'm not sure if I'm using those or not for absolute sure, but I've cut 2 anyway. Okay, so for the sentiment here with the Wonderful Thoughts dies, the easiest way I've found to cut this and get a good border is to take your die, take a scrap piece of paper in a color, not in white. So in this case, I've taken Blueberry Bushel, and I ran that through my die cut machine like this, okay? And then I trimmed out this piece of paper, and I wrote what sentiment it coordinates with. My heart will always be tied to yours. Now I can take this, and I can get a piece of Post-it note tape. Get that all lined up. Put that on there. Set this in here. Run it through my die cut machine. And then I will have a perfectly cut sentiment. And I don't have to fuss with it. Okay? So I learned that little trick from Erica Sirwin, I believe, and she had learned it from one of her customers. So I'm passing that on to you because it really does work quite nicely. And then I just keep this template in a little baggie, in a little clear medium envelope inside my case, so that when I need that sentiment again, the template is already done. Okay, so let's get all of our parts and pieces here. And let's get rid of this because we don't need that. And there are all the parts and pieces. And we can start assembling our card right after we grab our silicone mat. Okay? Now I am taking these, and I'm just taking my bone folder along the edge here. And I'll do that with each one of my petals, or my flowers. I want to be careful because I don't want to rip it, so it's a gentle. This just gives my flowers a little bit of dimension, which will give my card dimension and texture. Okay, and those are now ready. So let's bring back in our piece here and our card base. Let's attach this to our card base, our layer here. I love this new bright and beautiful paper. Okay. So we'll just center that up as best we can. Lay that down. And then we're going to take our flowers and we'll start placing them. making sure that we stay within the confines of the card. And then we're going to, let's see, this one here, this one here, and we'll stick that there. Add some greenery. Okay, we might not want all of that greenery. We might cut, let's go ahead and tear that off. Yeah, that's better. We'll use that. Okay, let's go ahead and start placing down our pieces. And for this, I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. Then in the center. And I'm just going to gently set that down. I'm not going to press it yet. That way I'm not... and notice I'm only putting glue in the center because I want to be able to slide these pieces in. But I'm not going to really push them down. I'm just setting them down until I get my pieces where I want them. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot work without my tweezers. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and commit on those. Okay. Then I'm going to get a Stampin' Dimensional. And some scissors because I'm at the end of my Stampin' Dimensional thing here, so I'm using the bones. And I'm just going to lay that in there. And I might regret that in a minute. Nope, that's going to work perfectly, right like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide these in where we think we want those. Like so. Get our leaves. Start placing those. And then let's see. Let's put one over here. Like so. We've got two more. Go. Maybe one up here with this little green spriggy thing. Trying to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and one over here if I can fit it in. Or let's see. Whoops. Come on back here, Mr. Leaf. And maybe like so. Okay, now let's go ahead and add some glue and slide these pieces in. Remember with Tombow, a little goes a long way, so if you can see it, it's enough. Slide that back in there. Pull this out. I'm going to take this with a glue dot. And I'm actually going to stick the glue dot on the front. How's the lighting, you guys? It seems a little dark. I didn't turn any lights on. Okay, so let's take that, put the glue dot on the front. We'll slide it in here. Like so, and press that onto the flower so that it sticks up a bit. We're going to do that with all of our leaves. These two, I'm actually going to put these two together first. Take another glue dot. Attach these two together. Oops. Glue dot did not stick. Okay, there we go. Stick those two together. Put another glue dot here. And then we'll slide the pear into place, like so. There we go. And then take another one. I'll stick this in here. Get that in a little bit. There we go. And, oh, we still got to get this one, right? Did we glue that? Nope, I don't think we, maybe. Can't really tell. I think we glued this one and not this one. Let's go ahead and stick that under there like that. And then we'll glue dot this one. And by glue dotting these on the top, then I'm not sticking them to those spriggy things. So I'm not, those sprigs are very delicate and I don't want to risk ripping them. Okay, let's go here, right there. Okay. And then we're going to take and add our sentiment up here like, let's see, we're going to add it in here. Right here. Let's put that up on dimensionals. Oh, I should have used that leftover piece I had. That would have been perfect. Okay, so we're just going to take and put this up here. Like so. Okay, now let's find us some bling a little bit, and we will add some brushed brass butterflies. These are like my favorite embellishment. So they go with all these flowers. They're flat, don't cause any bulk, give a little bit of shine. And I just love how they look with the flowers. Okay. So we're going to put one of these right up here next to our sentiment. And then we'll take another small one. No, you know what? I'm going to use another large one. And we're going to put that right here. Okay, and there is the outside of our card. Okay, now of course if you wanted you could add Wink of Stella to all of those, but shocker, I did not. Okay, for the inside of our card then, to finish this off, I've taken a piece of the designer series paper. This is what, 3/4 of an inch wide by 4. I stamped the small flower cluster from the Cheerful Daisies in bubble gum or bubble bath, and then Your Friendship Means Everything also from Cheerful Daisies in Berry Burst, and we're going to add that to the inside of our card. Okay. Apologize, you guys. I have the window open because it got a little warm in here, and the neighbor girl has come outside to play. And their backyard is right next to my studio. Okay, so we have that. And then I've stamped the smaller flower on the front of the envelope. And those flower clusters in Bubble Bath again for a coordinated card. All right, so I hope you liked that. Let's see, either you guys are very, very quiet or it is not updating my comments. So let's do that and see what we have. Oh, hello, Cynthia. Hello, Lynette. Thank you, thank you. Ah, I'm so glad you like the sound of children playing. Willow is just younger than Nathan, and so she's quite active. All right, so there we go with that. Let's go ahead and clean up a few things, and we will get started on our next card. Okay, so again for the next card, I need Moody Mauve and I think Lemon Lime Twist, Bubble Bath. Grab those because I think I need those for the next card as well. All right, let's put things away a bit. Clean these up. Okay. And then we will move on to project number 2. Okay, so our next card, let's see. This is, I don't think I need all of those. I think I just need Moody Mauve, Crushed Curry. Oh, I need Granny Apple Green and the Lemon Lime Twist. I don't need the Bubble Bath, I don't believe. We're using Bubble Bath, but not in ink. Okay, so we've got those. Before we get started on this card, I wanted to show you some little things that you can make with the dies from this set, in addition to our card. Okay. So if you take, the way I made this was I took the die. Where did I just set the dies? Oops. Okay, that's not good. Now I can't find my dies. Oh, there they are. Covered them up. Of course I did. So this piece is this die right here. Cuts all of these in one piece. And that's what I've done here. I cut out the back side of this is this die cut. Okay. Then for each of these flowers, I took, and if you look at these dies, you get an inner and an outer that you can sandwich together. Okay, just lay them in there. Use a piece of Post-it tape to keep them together. And then when you get them, you get this. Okay, so you can have an inner piece and an outer piece. So what I did was I cut this die, this one here in white, and I cut all of the pieces in white, And then I took my, for this lemon lolly, the dark lemon lolly, and I just colored those with my Stampin' blends, okay? And then these pieces were also white because of course I cut them out of white. And then I just took a pen and drew on there with a Stampin' blend and drew on there with my Stampin' blends to color that up. Okay, I did the same thing for the leaves. I colored the leaves, but then I took a single, because the leaf does not cut a detailed piece, I just took a piece of this in Lemon Lime Twist and glued it onto the back so that you could see it through the leaves. So then you can get something like this that you could use on a card. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so that's what you get when you do these two together, and you can do that with all of the pieces. And I am missing that die. Oh, no, it's right here. Whew. Okay, there we go. So you get all 3 flowers will do that. Plus then you get this big die. So for our next card, what I've done, let me get this out of the way so I can get that back on. I've pre-cut all my pieces, okay? Because we're just using dies to start with, to put our flowers together. So I cut 2 of these because I needed 1 large flower and 2 small ones. So I cut 2 pieces. And then I cut just the centers of these flowers. So I cut 2 of those and 1 of those. So I cut this in Moody Mauve twice. And then in Bubble Bath, I cut the large one and 2 of the small centers. Okay, you with me so far? Now you might think, so now I've gone ahead and I've put those together, but I did want to show you how I did that. Okay, so I've pre-done a couple, and then I have all my pieces for the rest of them. Okay, so here we go. Where are all my pieces? Oh, they're right here. Right here. These pieces. Okay. So let's set all of those aside. And what you need to do is this die has just some little edges here that you can just take your paper snips and snip them apart. Okay? Super simple. All right. So then I took the center piece here and a piece of scrap paper, and I took the dark Bubble Bath, and I'm taking the brush tip, and I don't know if you can see it, but right here there are some embossed veins in the petals. So I'm going to take my dark Bubble Bath and I'm just going to draw on those veins to add just a little bit of dimension. Okay. Now I did try it with the light Moody Mauve and added some Wink of Stella. And then this is the look that you would get with that. Okay, but that was a little bit darker than what I wanted. Okay, so we're not using those. I stuck with the Bubble Bath. And what did I just do with my petal? Okay, well, no worries, because I got an extra. Oh, there it is. Okay. So then with that, I take my Wink of Stella pen, a glitter pen, and I'm just going to brush Wink of Stella on my petals, just like this. Okay. So now I've got my bubble bath and I've got my glitter. And I've got my pieces here. So now I can start adding. So I need my big one, which I've already done. I need two small ones. So we've cut this off. And I'm going to line this up. And it's going to go just like so. They fit in there perfectly. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take just a little bit of liquid glue and my silicone mat. And I'm just going to run a little bit of glue around the center, okay? Don't need a lot, and I want to leave my petals up. And what I forgot to do with my petals, while I had them up, was very gently, you want to be very careful with these because they're very delicate. So I'm just going to fluff them up a bit with my bone folder on the ends, okay? And I'm going to lay this back down here, line that up, and press it in the center, okay? Now, that's our pieces. This is our die cut pieces for now. Let's set all the rest of this aside for another project. And the other thing that we need is a scrap of basic white. Okay, I've got a scrap of basic white. We need our crushed curry ink. And we need our centers. Let's make sure I got those clean. Yep, okay. So we're going to stamp one large center, and then we need two small centers. So we're going to stamp those. Okay. Now there's a die for the large center, and there really isn't a die for the small center. So for the small center, you're just going to have to take and fussy cut. Okay, so I fussy cut these. They're not difficult at all, just keep rounding your paper. Leave just a little bit of a white border. Round that down and do that to both. Then you're going to take the Light Lemon Lolly Stampin' Blend, and I just went around the edge and took out the white. Okay, and I did that for both the large and the small. Let me find them. There's one and two, and here's my large one right here. Okay, so now I have the centers for my flowers. Let's go ahead and bring those flowers back in. And here I'm just going to take a little bit of liquid glue, press that into my flower like so, and do the same here. Press that in the center. and press this in the center. Okay. Just like that. Okay, so now our flowers are ready. So let's set those aside and finish our stamping. So we do have some stamping and then we have some embossing to do. Okay, let's get all of these out of the way. And this week again, I'm using a retired product, but it makes this so much easier for me. I have some gripping issues, and I'm using the Petal Park stamp. And in order to make that the stamp that we're using, you have to use the E-block, and I have a hard time gripping the E-block, so I'm going to continue to use the Stamparatus for stuff like this because it just makes my life easier. Okay, so I've already pre-set up my board. This is a 3 3¾ by 5" piece of white cardstock. Let's make sure that that is still in the correct spot. Okay. We're going to take some, we're going to start with Granny Apple Green ink. So we're going to start with the detailed image. And Granny Apple Green is my darker green for this particular project. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. Let me move that into the picture a little better for you. Okay, and then we're going to line this up and we're going to stamp that down. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take my paper and flip it 180 degrees. And I'm going to ink up that detailed image again, the Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to stamp that down. Okay. Then I'm going to flip my plate. And I'm going to bring in my background stamp. And you could do this with a different positioning tool that you could buy out there on the market. I have ours that has been retired, and I'm going to continue to use it because it's perfect for this application. So I'm going to stamp that in the Lemon Lime Twist. Then I'm going to flip it 180. I'm going to stamp that down again. Okay, and I did not quite get the tip. Almost doesn't look like I inked that, so let's make sure we inked it. And let's get that tip. Okay, and there we are. So now we have our background piece that we need. And let's stick a piece of scrap paper in here so that doesn't get all icky. And we'll set that aside. Okay? So now we have this piece. And we are going to start adding our flowers. Well, let's hold on that for just 1 minute. Let's bring in our card base and finish our stamping with this. I'm going to take a piece of Moody Mauve. Again, a standard A2 card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4.25. And I'm going to bring back, I gotta have another piece of scrap paper here. Let's we're going to stamp off the edge on this. We're going to take that trio of flowers and the Moody Mauve ink, and let's see if that needs to be pushed down again. Yeah, let's push that down with our spoon again. I want a good ink. Okay, so we'll just push our spoon into our ink pad, and I don't know if you can tell the difference in the ink color. The edges are darker. I'm just pushing in the center to get that ink pushed down into the pad a little further. And then I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to go around the edges. And I'm using Moody Mauve ink on Moody Mauve cardstock, and I'm turning my stamp and my paper so that my images don't all look the same. And we'll just go all the way around. Okay, then we'll take a look at this, see if we need, and that looks good to me. I'm happy with that. Okay, I always check to see if I need to add another stamp somewhere. Okay, so we can actually add this to our cardstock now. To the card front. Whoa, okay. Do this. Center that up. All right. So we're going to bring back in those flowers. And we're going to stick one flower here. And I chose not to pop these up. You could, but I chose not to. I felt like I had enough dimension. I'm just going to take some liquid glue. Pop this flower down in the middle of this greenery here. And we're going to pop this flower right there. And finally this flower here. Okay. Now we need our sentiment. So with our sentiment, I played around and played around. And let's see, where did my sentiment piece go to? It's got to be up here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I cut with the Cheerful Daisies. There is this sentiment shape, and so I've cut that out of Bubble Bath, and we're going to emboss this, but we're going to use Moody Mauve ink. Okay, and we're going to hope this works because it is very warm in here. We're going to use clear powder for that. So we need to get everything ready because we need to be very fast. So I'm going to go ahead and use my embossing buddy on my sentiment piece. I'm going to get my powder ready to go. Okay. And take our Moody Mauve ink. And our sentiment is wishing you the happiest birthday ever, and that comes from the Cheerful Daisies. So let's get that inked up. Ink that up. Pick it up and pour on our powder, and we need to do that very quickly before the ink dries. Okay. Then we'll grab our tweezers from the Essentials embossing kit here. In that embossing kit, you get these ceramic headed tweezers so that you don't burn your fingers. You get the embossing buddy and you get the tray to contain your embossing powder from getting everywhere. Okay, and then you also get a brush that if you see any stray bits, you can brush those off. It's not nearly as important with clear embossing powder. So let's go ahead and bring in our heat tool. I'm going to turn this on for a minute and heat it up. I'm going to move that out of the way. Okay. And then, hang on, let me get this out of the way too. I'll try and get this up here so you can see it as it turns. Let's move it here. Okay, so there we are. I'm dropping things everywhere here. So there is our sentiment piece now. Okay, and we're going to add this. We're going to let it cool for a second. Oops, I don't not have that completely. Hang on. I see a space that is not completely melted. It's not quite bright. Let's get that done. All right, now that A is complete. But let's see, is the TH? Take a look at that. Yeah, it's shiny. Okay, there we go. So we've got that, and you could pop this up in the center, but I chose not to. So I'm just going to put this down with some Stampin' Seal adhesive, and I'm going to stick that right in here, like so. Then I'm going to add the 2023 to 2025 in color dots. And these come in the 5 new in colors. You get boho blue, copper, clay, moody mauve, wild wheat, and pebbled stone, or pebbled path, I mean. And I'm going to take one large. You get small, medium, and large in each color. And I'm going to take one large and put it here, and one small here, and then I'll take a medium and put it up here. And that is the front of this card complete. Okay. So for the inside of this card, I again stamped that trio of flowers in Moody Mauve, took the light petal or bubble bath marker and colored in the centers. Because You're Awesome comes from the Circle Saying stamp set right here. Okay. Those leaves and things, by the way, were from the Petal Park that we used. Love this greenery. You can be used for so many things and combined with so many different sets. Okay, so we've got that. And then we'll just set this on the inside of our card. Got that. And for our envelope, those trio of flowers in Bubble Bath and Moody Mauve. And now we have a completed birthday card and matching envelope. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll bring in the other project that we made earlier. Let's bring that in. set it right here. Now I also made with this, let's see, move this over so you can see it a little better. There we go. I also made this little treat holder. This is using the Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper, Pretty Peacock, and I used the fancy, Something Fancy Tags dies. And then this is the Daisies, the small flower. I've done this in Daffodil Delight with Lemon Lolly, and the centers of these flowers are copper clay, and the leaves were done in Pretty Peacock. This is a Lemon Lolly tag, and this tag is from the mini pocket dies, and then I added a little bit of linen thread and one of those in color dots from the 23 to 25 in copper clay. Okay, so just another idea. This would make a really cute Mother's Day gift for someone. Okay, so I hope you liked the projects tonight and that you are inspired to use Cheerful Daisies if you have it. And if not, you might want to consider it. It really is a very versatile set for all occasions. All right, everybody. Let's take a... Oh, wow, there's a lot more... I missed a bunch. Oh, thanks. Thanks, you guys. My comments were not scrolling. They got stuck. I'm so glad you liked those projects. And oh, thanks for all the hearts and the thumbs up. That makes my heart happy. I will see you all back here next Wednesday, I believe. I believe so. I know there's a concert coming up. I'm just not sure when it is. So I'll have to get that figured out. It wasn't on the calendar, but I know it's on a Wednesday. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week with another featured bundle. Good night.